What's up, everybody? Welcome.
What is going on? Holy shit! I'm out of it right now. That was fucking amazing. That was mind blowing. That might be the best episode of the season so far. Holy shit!
That was incredible.
God.
Absolutely incredible.
I know we got you pressed for time. Quickly, Ryan Ben Harris is a great friend of mine. Went to law school together, classmate. Salty Earth guy, wrote a great football article on me. Big TV aficionado, watches every show, doesn't know how he does it, runs a full-time law practice, Department of Industrial Accidents. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that's
knows
where
every judge. He's like my Mike. I'm always in trouble. I'm like, hey, I need something. Hey, can you get me this lawyer? Can you get me this guy? Can you boom, right on it, all the way. So he's the guy to go to. He's my Mike.
I got a couple of Gus's to answer to though, so that's what I got to go back to.
Oh, well,
great.
So
just thank you guys for having me on.
Right?
How crazy was that episode, man? There's so much happening that
there's so much. We just got to get into it. So go ahead. Your thoughts. You're the guest. So you go at it. Where you
all
at?
All right. So where do I want to go? I mean,
let's start from the beginning. How about that opening?
Oh, the opening.
Right from the beginning. Did you guys get it when they're showing like that he's tied up and all that stuff and in color? Dude, was it right away like,
the bullet holes on the inside of the van? They focused on the tape on the bullet holes. That was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That came back into play. That's right. The tape.
I thought those Walt and Jesse scenes. I mean, that's everybody's going to want to talk about the Walt and Jesse scenes, right? And I think just from the handful of people I've already talked to, and my opinion too, is that they were great. Like by themselves, they were awesome.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't feel like yet they really added much to the story. I think the stuff. I mean, obviously for me, the Lalo line about hey, who's Lalo? Like that was amazing. But
yeah,
I'm not. If that's it, if that's the only reason why we're getting those guys, I'm a little underwhelmed. But I doubt that it is.
I second that too. I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this. We talked about this earlier about when you sent me the clip about when they or maybe it was you and maybe my friend Marcus, but it sends me a clip of when they pull Saul into the desert and and they want the services or whatnot. And he said it was Ignacio and like Lalo sent you or whoever it was. Yeah, it doesn't add much to the story, but I like how they did it because especially with their age and like. Walt's not shaving his head, right? He's doing all these movies. So it was a kind of a good way for them to cover that up in a sense. But I was like, it didn't add much, but I feel like it's still not the end of them. Like we could still, especially, you see how they reference, I thought it was great. They referenced Skylar, like getting a deal, right? They went back. The whole scene with his secretary, I thought was amazing.
It was great. She's fantastic, man. The woman who plays Francesca.
Yeah,
I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago. So right before the second half of the season began to air, they did a binge of the last season of Breaking Bad. I didn't watch almost any of it, but right before Better Call Saul started, I watched like the last 15 minutes of the last episode of Breaking Bad, and I picked up on that interaction between Walt and Skylar, where Walt hands her the lottery ticket with the coordinates for Hank and Gomez. And it was weird. I always remember that scene, but it was what he said I didn't remember much, and now it really sticks with me. He said, use this to make the best deal you can possibly get. And for some reason, that just stuck with me.
Good catch.
Yeah,
see?
And I've been fixated on that, and I thought to myself, what if Kim has this massive change of conscience after Howard dies, and she takes off, and then all of this happens, and we know how famous Jesse is and he's still alive, and how famous Saul is and he's still alive. What if Kim's working with the feds to try to bring Jimmy in? And that's why we didn't hear the conversation in that phone booth, and that's why he's so pissed. And he's legit scorched earth. Like I think right at the end of that episode, he's trying to get caught, right? Like, I mean,
that's what I think. Is he trying to do that? Is he I'm figuring like he's trying to get made. Like he's going to extra lengths. Like the back and forth was amazing how they cut to him going into Walt's high school, right? Like, and then it cuts into breaking into the house. And Roger, you were right. You're talking about like I think the episode is going to be about Saul breaking bad, like post Saul. Gene, we got Gene now. Yeah. He's going to that side of what he went through. And it's like, all right, now it's my turn. Like, doesn't care about his victims, has no heart. Guy's got cancer. They're just a mark to him, and that's all. That's all it is. They're just a mark.
It's funny you bring that up because the thing is, it's like his imagery of Heisenberg is similar because you saw Heisenberg with the mustache and everything, and Gene emulates that same Ned Flanders lookalike
Ned Flanders good,
attitude. So he's like, hey man, like he tried to live by the book and he got burned for everything. So on his end, it doesn't matter. He's like, oh yeah, he for a moment he felt bad for that guy. He's like, oh he has cancer, but he's like, it doesn't matter. Like his money's gonna go away anyways. So that's the way he needs to look at it.
So where was he finding these marks? Like he's like, you don't know the research I've been doing. Like I didn't get what he said when he went back in the beginning, where it goes back to Carol Burnett. Great that they got her in there, but then he goes in and he calls to meet Jeff, and he's like, we got to do something. Take this shift. Did he? Was this like out of nowhere or what?
No, this plays back to like, remember when he used to pull, before he was a lawyer, he used to pull jobs with his fat friend.
Yes.
And like, and it was like kind of like that. Well, shout out to was it Max McAllister? That was
Buzz McAllister.
Buzz McAllister.
Home Alone.
I know.
He was the first mark. That was great. That was a good call, right?
And he played it so well, and I'm like, man, this guy is such a dick, and I hope he gets taken for everything.
Yeah,
and it's such a good thing because he goes for the wallet and he keeps the money in there, and you're like, oh, and then it unravels.
Yeah.
No, but it goes back to like he knew how to search for marks back then. Like he's old Slippin' Jimmy, because that's what he used to do back then with his friend. It was like, hey, this fat guy.
But he's focused on like financial planners. It looks like these rich douchebag hedge fund guys, which I don't mind him doing that, to be honest.
They have no family, got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he really digging deep.
Yeah.
For these.
So what do you guys think happens next? What's the next episode about?
Well, did you see the teaser?
I know the cops coming. Who called the cops? Carol Burnett.
I think they broke in. Someone called because he's gotten so sloppy. He's never been sloppy before.
I think there's an alarm maybe on the house because the guy's got money, right?
I think he wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
You think the next episode about him getting caught and then Kim coming in? So Kim's what, in Florida, or that's like under a pseudonym?
Who's she working for? Like a pool company?
I don't know.
Well, she had family down there, right? In Florida, it was like a no-name place.
Oh, did she?
Or was she? Or was that in somewhere else that she was? Because he.
But I wonder what that conversation was about. It was just he was pissed. It looks like he was yelling at her, and they were just going back and forth or whatever. And it was interesting how they brought that back in the conversation with the secretary. And then they talked about. What was it, Kubi and the rest of his gang? And
Huel, we got ending for Huel.
Yeah.
He survived the room. That was like the biggest revelation.
And
Bill Burr.
And Bill Burr's character, he mentioned him too, though. I was disappointed he wasn't in this like series at all. But I was glad that
he's probably too busy. I figured he wouldn't be because.
He's like, would you want to star in this? He's like, why would I want to star? I'm bald. I'm not the same. I'll put on weight. Yeah. It's like I'm in Star Wars now.
I know.
I'm trying to think of what he would say. No, I'm glad we got but the thing is, it's like it's cool to have like a little catch up. Everybody, Skylar got off. She got a deal and she's living her life. She Francesca, she tried to make a deal, but they know he's going to get contacted somehow.
What was she like? Is she like a maid, or was she like she owns that complex, or that was weird?
Yeah, I think she's a landlord.
The super okay.
Yeah. She's running anything that's left. I think it's her job to basically keep everything under wraps, and for whatever reason she had access to that building. And I remember she was working for somebody else when Jimmy took her. She was doing something else, and maybe she went back into what she was doing.
But I love how they went through all the shell corporations of like all the money, like the laser tag place and the vending machines.
And he kept the money in the tube.
What a shyster. That guy, man, has everything planned to the T in case he got caught.
He knew, man. But that's what made him the best. Slippin' Jimmy.
Slippin' Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm going to bounce out. Thank you guys for having me on, though.
No problem.
Hey, Ryan, awesome. Before you go, what's your rating on this episode?
Oh, God. I loved it. I mean, it's, I don't know, 8.5 out of 10. I loved it. I thought it wasn't my favorite of the season, but it was, I mean, the Breaking Bad stuff was great. And I like I said, I don't think it added much, but I'm really all in on the idea that we need to get a Kimmy Jim showdown by the end of this series. I think he's really mad about whatever she said on the phone. Right. And I think he's willing to risk it all to go to see her again. and
I think so too.
that's how this thing ends.
Now, do you think, one quick question, do you think we see post Jesse in the Gene era?
Oh yeah, we have to
somehow, because
right?
they mentioned him like, oh, he made the border where they found his car on the border or
Yep.
whatever. And I also, do you remember last week's episode how the mom, Jeffy's mom, said that, oh, yeah, he was involved with some bad guys in Albuquerque, the bad crew. I'm thinking that's Jack's crew maybe, or something involved. Like, they don't throw that line out there to not be used. I remember Vince Gilligan said that.
He
so
doesn't
it's going to be
it.
interesting.
And next week, Vince wrote and directed the episode for next week. So we get a Vince episode next week.
You know it's going to be the best one. You know it's going to be the best one.
And Peter Gould has the last one. And this, and Thomas Schnoz wrote and directed this episode, and he's been
great.
Absolutely, they're the big three in this series, and this one was as good as I expected. So,
good job. Well, hey, thanks for taking time for me. I know you're Disney vacation.
Enjoy it, man. I'm going to be in Disney next week. I got to find a place to watch next week in Disney. So,
next week.
If we can jump on, we're going to be having the after show next week. So, more happy to have your thoughts again.
If you want to hop on with Mickey or Donald, just bring them in the background.
Yeah, I'll bring him in.
Yeah, Tony Stark too. I heard he's around there. And Mr. Money.
All right, guys.
Thank
you, Ryan. Thanks for coming on.
All right. So there's a few things that we should go over and all that stuff. Like, how does it feel that,
wow, how cool I am? Yeah, I know.
How cool.
Happens all the time. I got my fucking mug right here, bitch.
Yeah, no. Guess who got it for you?
Yo, bitch.
Idiot. We got that line. So
I know. We got, come on, yo. He didn't say bitch, though.
I know.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was really cool. I'm like, how are they going to do this? But that was a good way to throw them into the show, I thought, by putting that flashback scene from that where they first meet Saul.
Yeah.
And then the Mike cameo was awesome, too, where they had him in there, how he's like basically getting the 411 on all these fools that he does whatever cases with. I need a guy like that.
But the thing is, it's funny because Mike told everybody not to trust Walter White.
He's the fucking one. I know.
If you go back, he's the only one to say, do not go with this guy.
Leave it alone.
And it's because of Saul. Now it all comes back to Saul. It's all because of Saul. Everything else happened with Gus, Walter White. Because the thing is, if he left him alone, right? If Saul left him alone, he would have shot by the cops or he would have died from the cancer. Either one or the other.
He wouldn't have been involved.
He would have been nothing. It
would have killed the whole empire and everything they had going. One guy ruined it for everyone.
He knew Salamanca, so he was doing like that dealings. But even then, you didn't have Gus Fring on the other side. That's what really.
Who didn't have Gus Fring on the other side?
Walter White, because Walter White introduced him to Gus Fring, the man who's not to be named, as he said.
No, Walter White didn't introduce Saul to Gus Fring.
No, Saul introduced. Walter White to Gus Fring.
Yeah. He introduced him to everyone in that world.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's there's a lot prequel, sequel, Breaking Bad. It's all thrown into one.
How does it feel Walter White's presence again? Does it feel right? Does he feel like more Heisenberg than he was at that moment?
I mean, I don't really give a shit. He's dead and old at this point.
Dead and old. Yeah, you fucking asshole. Get fucking back in that grave.
He's already dead, but I mean, no, it was good to see him. Like I said, I was wondering how they were gonna do it. If it was gonna be like, I don't know, you see him fucking washing his car at the car wash or some stupid cameo, but it had to be something that was like poignant and valid for the fans. As Ryan said, I don't think it added much to the story. I mean, it was kind of funny to see them and seeing what they're doing, but I think we're gonna see an interaction in the chemistry in the high school. I think we're going to see some more clips of Walter White there when he's walking in, because it kind of just ends abruptly. Like he breaks into the house, breaks bad, and then he goes into the chemistry high school to meet him, discuss representation, and we don't know what the hell is going to happen. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to wrap this all up. Like there's got to be some climactic, crazy ending. I think it's got to be.
Well, it's been leading up to a lot of things. Well, the one thing is the Kim showdown. What happened to Kim? So that's the number one question. What happened?
I think Ryan's right. She may be working with the feds and taking all these people down. Who knows?
Because how is he going to get out? Like, does he get out? That's the other thing. It's like you were building up to a case where he's saying "fuck it," pretty much, because there was that foreshadowing when they went over the grave and he's in the bed and it fades into his bed. From the grave into his bed into the future.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe it's a
maybe he's sick of. Is he sick of it? I mean, everyone's everyone's still after him, right? Like the whole. I mean, she's like, "Am I still hot?" And he's like, "Yeah, you are." And he asked the secretary. I mean, not hot that way, but
yeah. He's like, yeah, you still hot? Yeah, all right. I still do you.
yeah, he's not a chum on Tinder yet.
Yeah, no, he's not swiping right.
No.
His Tinder game must suck. He can't go on. He's like, hey, weren't you that famous
Well, they
lawyer?
don't even have that back then. If you looked at the technology, they have the fucking digital cameras. Remember, they're taking.
Yeah. So when does I thought Breaking Bad was like current when it was doing it? Like I didn't know if it was like it was like during when it was coming out. It was during.
I think it was like early 2000s still.
Oh, was it?
I forget the timeline. I was going over this early. We could look it up.
We'll have we do a quick search for that. Hey Violet, how's it going? Welcome. Doing a little after show. I don't know. Have you seen the show Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? So let us know. Make sure to drop a like.
So Breaking Bad is set between 2008 and 2010.
Okay, that makes sense. Those cameras were real shitty back then.
Yeah. So.
In 2013, it's like you still would
Well,
have.
that's when the show ended for us, but not in the show years. You gotta.
Yeah. Oh, Violet, you're killing me. You haven't seen them? Come on. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. They're all on Netflix if you need something to watch. So give it
Great.
Give it a go.
You know what's also interesting? I thought about like now when you watch this show, you actually have to watch Breaking Bad first. You can't watch Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Maybe like the first 2 or 3 seasons you can. Actually, I don't think so. I think it's going to ruin it. I think you have to watch Breaking Bad then, which is crazy to do for a prequel. I mean, that's pretty fucking genius.
I mean, they do such a good job with all of it. I mean, you can technically watch that one episode where it like kind of catches up, where he starts his law firm and then start Breaking Bad.
No, that'd be so stupid to do that. To go watch that and then go all the way back and watch again.
I mean, you can. Sense. I'm saying that's a possibility. I'm not saying
there'll be someone that's like
what? What is it?
No fucking brains to do
no
that.
Brains.
Time.
Yeah, but you get an
understanding. You wouldn't watch one episode and then go all the way back and then come all. You're gonna watch the series as full. It makes sense to watch it as full because there's so many references to post Saul.
Yeah, there is, but you can also still get those references watching the other way around.
I don't think you can do it.
Right,
I think.
Well, we have a catalyst, Violet.
I think it would
ruin Breaking Bad.
I think it would ruin the experience.
Watch Better Call Saul first, and then watch Breaking Bad and see what you pick up.
I think it would ruin the experience because if you do that, then you find out kind of the fate of the characters in Breaking Bad. Because they talked about it. Yeah. They talked about it in the show.
They talk well, and I mean, only in this season they do.
Yeah,
so, I'm saying there's that one break. Like there's that part where it cuts up to a point where you see Saul Goodman in his law firm, and then that episode ends.
Yes.
So you can go back. Yeah, Violet, they are connected. So Breaking Bad. So Better Call Saul is a prequel to Breaking Bad.
Where are you seeing this person?
This is in the chat, the comments. So.
Oh, let me see the comments.
Yeah.
I have to do dishes. Oh. Well,
yeah.
Do your dishes. It's called dishwasher.
Jeez. All right. As a lawyer, what do you advise Saul Goodman? How do you think you'd get out of it if you got caught right then and there? What is he charged with?
I mean, it's breaking and entering. I mean, right away.
Yeah.
He broke and entered. It doesn't have to be a locked abode. If your abode's just unlocked, if you're not authorized to live there, as soon as you open the door, that's breaking and entering. Even if it's an open window and you crawl through it, that's breaking and entering. So, I mean, but he's gonna get made like a facial. I don't know if they have facial recognition, but his face is not that far off from. He's been all over. Like that's probably the biggest case in like the U.S. history drug bust case in that world. Yeah. So like if some of the cops see him, they're gonna know it's this. This is not him. You know, I don't know how Oklahoma, New Mexico. It's not that far away. And how he's gonna get away with it. Does he get caught? I don't think he gets caught. I think someone calls the cops. Either Jeff's mom calls the cops or an alarm goes off. He gets out of there. They're there to investigate, or he's got to change of heart when he sees the guy or something.
Yeah, or he's maybe. I think the guy's dead. I think the guy died.
I thought so something too. I'm like with the pills and then what he gave him.
Yeah.
Like what he gave him in the water, it probably fucked something up and killed him. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he's gonna totally regret this.
Yeah, he's gonna walk in, and that's why the cops come, because he calls them to see if they can be resuscitated. So I think it's a fake out.
He says, when he fired that guy, that scene, the tall guy, he's like, "You're out," and he's like, "I don't want to do this." Like you just saw that he was just being relentless. He's being the asshole. So that for no, I don't know what the purpose is of what he's trying to prove.
Because that's the thing. He's Breaking Bad, like Walter White. The mission is the only thing. Because remember, Walter White was the same way. He was a dickhead. He was like, no, we got to sell this. We got to do this. Like he was always commanding Jesse Pinkman to do whatever. Even Jesse was the moral compass.
Yeah, I guess he was, but Jesse was just as bad too. Yeah, but he was.
Yeah, he was. He was a meth head. He did all that stuff. He was bad, right? But like Jesse even had his limits, but Walt had none. So he's on that same thing of like, hey, we're on a different. He's on that different trajectory.
He just switched. He Skyler's fate was finally confirmed. I'm worried. Marianne.
Yeah, we read this. So Mike said Skyler's fate was finally confirmed. I'm worried about Marianne. Had something to do with the cops being called. Maybe Jeffy split the beans, and I wonder who.
Or it was the kid, the young kid, called the cops.
Yeah.
The kid he just fired from the heist. But remember, he said, "No, don't talk."
Right.
That kid's going down too. He's got them all. They're all going to go down if anyone talks.
Right. So maybe he called in. He's like, "Hey, these guys are going to break in," or something like that.
And also, that's a good point. Was he yelling at? We don't know if he was yelling at Kim or someone else. He just asked for Kim, but we don't know who got on the phone.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be something like he's been made by the FBI, right? It could be like a DEA agent. It's like, hey, we're like, who are you? What are you? Who are you?
I don't think he would stay on the phone that long. They'd be able to trace him for him yelling at the agent. Like, it's been over a year. So I mean, yeah, it's probably the first time he like called her, and he called her for a payphone. I don't know if they'd be like tracing her. You know, who knows like that. I don't know. I did like how they showed that district attorney is now like kind of like
yeah, he flipped sides.
Dude with the comb over or the bald head. Yeah, he became
coffee from the vending machine. Oh, gross.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, he became a lawyer. He finally went on his own and was like,
lunch is Cheetos, a bag of small Cheetos.
That was the best. That was great how they tied like all these little things in. But I have no idea. There was a reason they did that. Everything there's a reason to find. It's interesting.
You think he's going to defend Saul? He's going to be the one?
No, I don't know. Either Saul. I don't know if Saul makes it or he dies. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you? That's the real question I want to know. Is like, does Saul Goodman die? Would it be fitting if he did die?
Like, would it be a fitting reason to die? Like, he didn't do anything except represent these guys. Basically, what he did was he took on clients, attorney-client privilege, represented them, but then he did illegal shit to hide their money the best he could.
But what about the other stuff before Breaking Bad? Like the stuff with his brother and then freaking Howard and all that. Like, he definitely had a hand in that. Like, it was all because of his...
He didn't have a hand in killing his brother. His brother killed himself.
Yeah, but also the same way, he led to his downfall of his mental state. Like, the stuff with the map, and then he had...
But he wouldn't be like... Yeah, but he wouldn't be charged for anything.
I know, I'm not saying, but like, we're talking about a moral standpoint. I'm not talking about...
but even from a legal standpoint, he's not going to fucking kill himself.
No, I'm saying, like, the morality of him, is he justified in the living sense of, like, is it if he died, or should he die, or should he live by the end of the show?
I think he got over his brother and Howard. He's like, whatever. The only person he cares about was Kim.
Right.
How he ruined her career and pushed her to be like him. He got really pissed at her.
She liked it though. That was the problem.
Yeah, but it was all because of him though. It's not her. It's his fault that she turned like that. Yeah. He got her involved, and then he could have stopped at any point, and they just kept going, these little things, and he kept finishing it,
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it wouldn't make sense if he dies. Like, it doesn't. It makes sense if he gets caught and gets put away, and that's the end of Saul. Like, there's no more. There's no more left of him anymore.
That's true. I mean, that would be the fitting ending for Saul.
I think what he gets charged with is probably. I'm just trying to think what he's going to get charged with. Actually, money laundering probably is his biggest charge that they're going to get him on. And,
oh, hey, look, special guest.
Yeah, in the show.
There is. I mean, it would go back to what Chuck would said when he first got him out. He's like, I should have left you locked up in there. So maybe it could be foreshadowing that's where he ends up.
What did he say? I should have left you locked up in there?
Chuck came when he was like slipping Jimmy, he got locked up in prison. It was like the story he was telling.
Yeah.
And and Chuck said to him, he's like, I should have never bailed you out of jail. I should have just left you there to rot because of how scheming and all that stuff. Maybe that was the foreshadowing. He's like, that was always his predestination of where he was always going to be.
Maybe that's all he did. As he said, he's like, Jimmy as a lawyer is like a chimpanzee with a machine gun.
He's too good, baby. He's too good. It's chaotic.
That was one of the best lines ever. That's right. That's how you got to be. You can't be some soft ass fucking lawyer. You got to go in there. You got to represent fucking people hardcore, man. Like a lot of these lawyers that deal with a bunch of pansy asses. They do things lazy, no detail, no balls or whatever.
Cojones.
Yeah, grit, testicular fortitude.
Imagine that's in like a law school in Latin. It's just like a chimpanzee with a machine gun, but in Latin or whatever the hell it is.
They should sell that as a statue. Better Call Saul, chimpanzee with
that's the law school in front. It's like a chimp with two M60s.
Surprised they don't have a T-shirt for it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Surprised they don't have a T-shirt for it.
It's a great law gift to give somebody who just graduated from law.
I want to watch it again because I feel like Jeffy doesn't know what he wants to do anymore. But there's something he's involved. I don't know. That someone's going to rat on someone. Something big's going to go down. Either some action, violence. Someone's going to get made or killed. I don't know.
He's definitely digging his own grave.
He's digging his own grave.
Quite literally, because I showed it like a grave dug for Saul. And then flashes him, so he's digging.
Who's left? None of the Salamancas are left, are they?
No Salamancas. They're all dead because Gus killed all of them.
Anyone from the cartel left? I don't think so.
No, because Gus killed all the people from the cartel.
And then Gus's crew is gone.
Yep.
So who else do we got?
That white Aryan gang is gone. Heisenberg killed all.
Well, maybe.
What about
I did like actually that is cool that Ryan brought that up that she used that for her plea deal.
Yeah.
And the kids are on their own now, or they're with maybe they're with her sister, Skylar's sister, Hank's wife.
Yeah. Because now she can be free of everything. Because now she doesn't have to be in any of that stuff.
But the kids are also getting paid from the trust from the Gray Matters, the husband and wife couple.
Right. That's right.
Was it like 15 million or something? I don't know what it was, or 30 million was left over for them.
Oh yeah, you have Badger still. He's still around.
Yeah, but those guys.
I know it's so minor. You're like, get out of here.
They're irrelevant to the story. It's got to be someone big. Like, I think he's right. It's going to be a confrontation between Kim and Jimmy, and then that's it. And then I don't know. Jesse somehow comes into play, or he's gone to Alaska or wherever.
We don't know. What was the movie El Camino?
El Camino. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how'd that end for Jesse? Like,
he calls Robert Forster vacuum guy again. He gets, he pays him. He's like, you got to pay me a certain amount of money, and then the movie was stupid. It was really pointless. It talked about irrelevant characters. We had Fat Todd in there, which made no sense. Jesse Plemons' character was like 70 pounds heavier. I'm like, how does that make sense if it's going backwards? But anyways, but it just ends with him like taking off and like going to Alaska, like getting out of the country, like Alaska or Canada or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just see him just drive off, and that's kind of how it ends. Like he gets away finally, and he had some dealings with like the guy that made. Basically, he pissed. He went after the guy that made that contraption that he was attached to. Remember, Jesse was like the Nazis. So yeah, like they show like how that happened, how he met the Nazi guys and made that contraption, and then that guy had like there was like money stashed away somewhere. I don't even know. It was like
Didn't sound like a pivotal point, unlike Breaking Bad was.
what was this? Yeah.
Yeah, it was very weird to have that as a Netflix only kind of film.
Yeah, it was like an afterthought. I don't know why Vince went to struggles to do that. But
it was the hype. So
yeah, but it was. I was wondering how they're going to do Jesse because I'm like he's too old. That was like I said, it was a smart way to put them both in this episode because of their age and hair and not to like because Jesse's I mean, he's in his 40s. Like he's not a high school kid, but they kind of hit it in a way. It was a good way to do it.
Yeah, because he has a receding hairline now. Like
so they cover them up. Like I said, the only thing the only way they could put him in is if they do a post Gene. But we got 2 left, so I don't know.
This is going to be the biggest ones.
Vince
Gilligan brings it every time.
Yeah, like, he brings it. And he writes, directs, and he's gonna. Every image, every shot has something that's of importance. So we're gonna get closer. I just can't wait to see how this whole thing just wraps up. And
it's been a long journey from when it started to when it ended. I can't believe it's ending. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Just like Breaking Bad, it's like it feels like the same way. I still remember it coming down in those yellow hazmat suits with that bear and all that stuff. Yeah, that's watching.
Yeah, that was a good finale party show to watch. But I don't know. I mean, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. 2 more weeks of this.
So, final thoughts. What do you rate this episode?
I would say about the same. Probably like 8.5, 8.8 out of 10. I thought it was fucking. Yeah. It's just so intriguing. I mean, last week's episode was mind blowing, amazing too. Like they've been all so good. The Lalo episode where he gets killed was another, like, it's hard to say which is the best one. There's been so many this season.
Yeah, they kind of keep topping each other. Like this one that's good would be some other episodes, like some other series is like top 10 episode of all time for their other ones. Like they.
Hold on, we lost you. Oh, lost the stream.
No, nope. Still there.
Now we're back.
All right, we're back, baby. No, but I'm saying is like a good episode here is a 10 in any other series. That's how good each episode is. It just keeps topping each other. I probably give it around. Yeah,
it's one of the best shows on TV ever made, produced, whatever. And it's hard to compare the two. And we've all been waiting to see what his fate's going to be and how it's going to wrap up. And it's gone it's a long way. We didn't think to make a prequel that good. It's almost impossible. I feel like.
Ask George Lucas.
Yeah, but I know his movie sucked ass.
I'm trying to think of other good prequels, but they did a really good job with this
one. Well, Mandalorian, I guess. You want to talk about that?
I mean, it's like a universal prequel.
Yeah, universal. But this is just like straight from the show, and like you knew at the end of the characters what's going to happen, but you're still fucking vested in them, and you still want to know how it's going to end for each of them, and just each episode and directing. And it's cool that they just throw some fandom, callbacks. Like just look at the first season of Better Call Saul. It's just like wow, this is how this guy starts, like running from courthouse to courthouse, and I know that life's like, but it was great they incorporated that and how he can never stop. It's just like who you are is who you are. You can't unpaint that picture, right? Like being a lawyer just gave him that license to do even worse shit, pretty much. And now he's at the end of it. He's in a bind. Like he couldn't sit there and just be Gene Takovic for the rest of his life. There's no way.
Making Cinnabons.
There's absolutely no way. Maybe he could. Maybe if he never got made by that guy, maybe he would have just been happy and just gone amongst his life. It wasn't until that guy found out who he was.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed stressed. Like it seemed like every time he would do something, like even he was itching at every time. You'd watch his old videos. You'd put SG in the wall. Like he's I don't know if he could have been happy. Maybe he couldn't have. But I think the thing is what you said is like you are who you are. It's right. You can't hide from that. And that's
once a G, always a G, man. That's exactly how I see it. But we also didn't know. I always figured that they're going to show a bunch of post Saul episodes, full episodes, which they've been doing.
Yeah.
So last week's was the first one, right?
That's right. Last week it was the first.
Yeah, it was. I believe so. And then second one now, and then I guess the rest of them are going to be like that.
I mean, they're still intercutting. Like,
they're going back and forth, but it plays with the story, right? It's good that it's interesting how they're doing it. So
I wonder if they'll give Mike Ehrmantraut like a little bit one last scene, because it's like we know what happens to him, and he knows. And it's just like, and that's the thing. Like, it just like knowing all this stuff makes it so much worse. Knowing how, like, Breaking Bad, like everything that happens in Breaking Bad is so much worse.
I hope maybe we find out what happens with his like daughter-in-law and his granddaughter. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. They froze the money. They get screwed. Like, it sucks. They all get screwed over because of Walter White.
Yep, that's it. Everyone told them, it's like, don't be big.
Off track. How sick was that Predator 30-second commercial spot?
That was good.
That shit looks fucking off.
I can't wait. Well, we're going to be doing a review show of that, so
I cannot wait. So, I got Predator right here, but that looks dope. His Predator's first hunt, man. He looks badass. It looks like he has like some different mask, and it looks like he's wearing like something Native American, like war paint mask or something.
Yeah.
Different weapons, and it just looks. That director is awesome, man. I think he's gonna do a hell of a job. But we'll stop talking about that. But I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we'll talk more when we see it, and we'll go into it. We'll have a little bit more guests. So I just want to plug, later this week, we're going to be having a How Does Movie Influence You with the original Predator. So we're going to have a few guests. I know Better Call Saul is going to be on here with me. So keep an eye out for that. And then we're going to do the review of Prey. And then we're going to have our thoughts.
When's that released? Because they didn't say it on the show.
It's on the 6th. So the 6th of this month.
So Saturday? It's gonna be, not a Friday?
Because it's going to be streaming only on Hulu.
Yeah, but it's weird they don't release on a Friday. I know Bullet Train comes out Friday, so I need to catch that.
I think that's why they're just kind of like, hey, let Bullet Train have that, and then we'll have their own day of Predator. So
it's going to be dope.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep, this is a great show. We'll see you, I guess, next week as well.
Our fans, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want. If not, go fuck yourselves, because we're doing a good job.
Waste our time here, you piece of shit.
That fucking guy. No wonder why I don't like him. He's such an asshole.
Get out.
Well, join the club. When I walk into the courtroom, that's what they say. Oh, he's back again. That's right. I am back.
I am back.
Kick ass, take names, and chew bubble gum.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for everyone joining. If you haven't joined us live, join us next time. If you're watching us later.
If you want to be a guest, also, if you want to be a guest, feel free to come on. You can DM one of us and any social media.
I can invite whoever I want, not you.
Want to come on the show, you want to talk, whatever. Let us know so we can set it up and get you on the show.
Absolutely. We're free to have anyone on. So thanks, everybody.
See you next week, next Monday. Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.